Hey everybody, I am back again. We got Digimon over on our side. We've also got my custom Digivice that I ordered quite a while ago. And normally I wouldn't do video back to back, day right after day from the last one. But if you remember, I said I was going to go because my comic book shop had called me and told me, hey, we got more Digimon stuff in. And I could not wait. I had to go see what they had. I really wasn't expecting much. If you remember, before, I got 6 Heaven Yellows, which is great because I love Dark Digimon so much, and there are so many in there. So I went, and this time, they had the Coyotes Blue and the Gaia Red. They actually had 2 of each of these, but I only wanted 3, and I figured picking up 12 of each was overkill. Even though I think, yeah, that would equal an entire booster box. Speaking of which, they also had one 1.0 booster box, which this time they had dash packs to go with it. So that was neat. And I was wondering if I wanted to get another 1.5. Like, I really only wanted 2 of each, but I didn't want to stiff the store, and I knew I could use more cards, and we had such good luck last time pulling the 2 secret rares out of the 2 boxes that I picked up another 1.0. We didn't pick up any in the 1.5. They got a 1.5, so I picked that up. Because I wanted to have an even number, like 2 and 2, and I was thinking about going back to the other store that I got the first one from, which they actually marked that one up quite a bit. Like, it cost twice as much. But they also had a second 1.5, and in fact, a third 1.5. So there's going to be at least 2 more unboxing videos. I feel like I'm going to do 2 of these at a time. And we'll probably open one of the dash packs in each. But for now, I was figuring, now that I have all of the starter decks, what if I just did a quick teardown of those for you to help tide everyone over until the next unboxing and the eventual Digibrace review, which I want to go through that and thoroughly do it. So let's see. We did TK's first. So, well, I got TK first. Which, let's actually take a look at that one. This is one that I've previously opened, so there is no pack in it. Let's take a quick look at the deck. Alright. So first up, we've got the Digi-Eggs. That's fine. And there's only one. You can have 5 in a deck. In all the starter decks, they only put 4 in. And this one's Tokomon, whose ability is your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0 DP, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for the turn. Fairly straightforward. Unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!, where a monster can have 0 attack points, just like in Magic, in this game, you cannot. As soon as they hit 0, they're dead. End of story. Alright. Next up, we got the rookies. And we start with Force Salamon. Simple. 2 to play on its own. 0 to Digivolve. 3000 DP. No ability and no inherited ability. And there is 4 copies. Probably going to move a little quicker because this is a starter deck. So there's not much to see here. We got Tapermon. I like him. I believe there's a purple version that I had in the purple deck for a bit. It is a 3-play cost, 0 to Digivolve, 4,000 DP, no inherited ability, no regular ability. And there are 4 of them in here. Finally, we have Patamon, which is 3 to play, 0 to Digivolve, 1,000 DP, and it has the inherited ability, your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0 DP, gain 1 memory. You can probably already guess what the theme of this deck is. Next up, we have the champions. Starting with Angemon, who's got 5 play cost, 2 to Digivolve, 4,000 DP. And when attacking, if you have 4 more security cards, gain 1 memory. So like I said, they like to manipulate security cards, and there are 2 Angemons in the deck. So that'd be pretty neat. It works with that. Next up, we have Gatomon, 4 to play, 2 to Digivolve, 5,000 DP, no inherited ability, no normal ability. Just a straight beater. And there are 4 copies of that. And most of the ratios are going to be the same throughout all 3 decks, if I remember correctly. Just different mon and different powers and things like that. And finally, we've got Unimon with 5 play, 2 to Digivolve, and 6,000 DP. And it's got the blocker ability, which means it can block opponent's Digimon when they attack if this is unsuspended. And when it attacks, it loses 2 memory. You lose 2 memory, which is kind of a theme for blockers at lower levels. And there are 4 in the deck, which I think works thematically. It reminds me of walls from Magic the Gathering. So next up, we have the Ultimates. And we start with Magna Angemon, who has a 7 play, 3 to Digivolve, 7,000 DP. No regular ability. His inherited ability is when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1,000 DP for the turn. So again, trying to lower it so that they can trigger all those 0 DP effects. And there are 4 in the deck. This is one of the ones with some foil around it, which is always nice to see, like some extra flair on starter deck cards. Then the other ultimate we have is Angemon, who has 6 play cost, 3 Digivolve cost, 7,000 DP, and the active ability, when Digivolving, when you have 3 security cards or less, trigger recovery +1, place the top card of your deck onto your security stack. So that can help rebound from other things. So like using Mastamon to remove cards, and then you could use this one to replace them again, which is pretty good synergy. And there are 4 copies. And now we have the Megas, which we have the first one, Magnadramon, who has a 10 play cost, 2 to Digivolve, 12,000 DP, no abilities whatsoever. It's a nice cheap one, and these ones are usually best if you have ones like Millenniumon, where you need to get up to the 7. It's struggle with energy, so one of these is good to have. It's also a nice beater at 12,000, but otherwise pretty uninteresting. And there are 2 copies in the deck. And then we've got the shiny boy, Seraphimon. There's 2 copies in the deck. It has 12 to play, 4 to Digivolve, 10,000 DP. And when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for the turn. So that's a big hit. So you could use this on like an Agumon or something like that, like a rookie level Digimon, and just delete them outright and then start proccing other abilities. Next up, we've got the Tamer cards, and there is only 4 copies of the TK card, which is the only one. And it has the ability on opponent's turn, all of your security Digimon get plus 2,000 DP. So that'll help against red decks, or really any decks, but the red decks are the big beater ones. Those are the ones where, like, you don't have to worry about attacking out security cards so much. And then the security effect is you can just play this card when it's flipped over. Which I think is the same for all the Tamers. I might be wrong. Next up, we have the option cards. Starting with Heaven's Gate. Main effect, during your main phase, one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP for the turn. The security effect is all of your Digimon and security Digimon get plus 5,000 DP for the turn. Then add this card to its owner's hand. So, super strong. It'll help make your opponent second guess things. Because, like, Magnadramon at 12,000 and then it going up to 17 could wreck almost any red Digimon, even at powered levels. Not fully powered, like with all the effect cards, but this could definitely do something in. And then it going into your hand so that you could use it the following turn is really brutal. And there are 4 copies of that. Next we have Heaven's Charm, which costs 2. Its main effect is during your main phase, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. And its security effect is add this card to its owner's hand. So again, going with we're going to reduce opponent's Digimon and get benefits from deleting them that way. And there are 2 copies of that in the deck. Next up, we have Holy Flame, which is another 2 cost. Main phase, one of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack minus 3. This Digimon checks 3 fewer security cards until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that's... Well, let's go with the security effect first. Security. All of your opponent's Digimon gain security attack minus 1. This Digimon checks 1 or fewer security cards for the turn. So this one's kind of situational because there's only a few Digimon that can check multiple cards. But the ones that do, you want to stop that from happening. There are 4 copies in the deck, which to me seems like too many. I would feel like 2 would be great. That'd be one of the things that I would muck with when I eventually do mess with the yellow deck. And finally, we have 7 Heavens. Cost 7. The main effect is one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 10,000 DP for the turn. And its security effect is activate this card's main effect. So, yeah, this could really wreck something. Like a War Greymon checking 4 cards. It hits this one first, loses 10,000 DP, and then it attacks the next one, and it just dies to almost anything out there. And playing it on your turn, you could get rid of most things at ultimate level or higher, I think. And there are 2 copies. And then, they're not very interesting, but you got the rules cards, which also have the life point tracker cards, which go like that. And these little crest coins can actually pop out. You want to pop out the one on the player 2 board if you're going to, because that's the one where on the back there is nothing written there. Whereas if you go with the other one, you're going to miss some words. So just as a tip, I would punch out the player 2 one. And so that is the Heaven's Yellow deck. So let's take a look quick at... let's go with Coyote's Blue, because we started with 3. Let's go to 2 now. I've got my safety knife here. Safety first when opening boxes, as a wise man once said. Let's get them both open for safety purposes. Okay. So let's take a look Dakota's Blue. I'm going to pull from the front. There we go. All right. We got a Diaboromon pack in there. We'll save that till the end. We'll open the 2 packs at the end. Why not? We'll add a little spice to this. Because all these decks are the same. And that is something I do like about it, is that they come with those. So right out of the gate, you could customize this deck. You could pull an amazing card. You could pull an Omnimon and put it into the blue or the red deck, which is great, because that's that one goes in either. So starting out, we got the Digimon Sunamon. Which ability is, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP when battling an opponent's Digimon that has no Digivolution cards. I believe all 3 decks, their Digimon abilities have something to do with the theme of their deck. So in this case, it's that you're battling Digimon without any Digivolution cards. So next up, we have the rookies. Starting with Vanilla Gomamon, who has a 2 play cost, a 0 Digivolution cost, 3000 DP, no ability, no inherit ability. He's building a sandcastle, though. And I liked this guy because the little symbol on his claws kind of looks like the Mark of Evil on Devimon and other evil Digimon's chest. There are 4 copies in the deck. Next up, we have Gabumon, who's got a 3 play cost, 0 Digivolve, 2000 DP, and the inherit ability, when attacking, trash the Digivolution card at the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon with a level 5 or less. So yeah, that means that you could take out all the way up to the Mega with us, just taking out the ones underneath it. Again, going with the Sunamon's ability, we're working with the idea of getting rid of those cards underneath, so they would lose their inherited ability, which could be a big deal. And there are 4 copies of that card in the deck. Right? Forgot to show that off. Yes, there are 4 copies. And then the final rookie in the deck is Bearmon, who has a 3 play cost, 0 Digivolution cost, 4000 DP, no inherit ability, no regular ability, just a straight up beater. And there are 4 copies in the deck as well. I remember seeing him in, I think it was Digimon World 3, the video game first. I think that was my introduction to him, if I remember correctly. It wasn't Digimon World 4, because that one came later and was much harder, in my opinion. That one you needed a strategy guide pretty much to beat. Then we got champions, starting with Ikakumon, who's got a 4 play cost, 2 Digivolution cost, 5000 DP, no inherit ability, no regular ability. Just another straight beater. And you have 4 of him. Then we've got Garurumon, who's got a 5 play cost, a 2 Digivolution cost, 4000 DP, and it's got the inherit ability of, when attacking, trash the Digivolution card at the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. A very familiar ability, a very familiar idea to get rid of abilities of lower Digimon on a stack. Getting rid of, like, Devimon on a lower stack so that you're not going to lose your monsters. And there are only 2 copies in the deck, which this would be one of the reasons I would think to buy 2 copies of the deck, because this is a nice card. And then you have 4 Bearmons, which got 5 play cost, 2 Digivolution cost, 6000 DP, and it's got the same blocker ability and lose 2 memory when attacking that Unimon had. Every deck kind of has one of these, I think. I think the red one does too. But that's just kind of like to give you some defense. Next up, we have the Ultimates. Starting with Wergarurumon, who's got a 7 play cost, a 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 DP, and it has the inherent ability of your turn, while your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards theme, this Digimon gains security attack +1. This Digimon checks 1 additional security card. So again, going with the theme of getting rid of security cards to build up some better abilities for your team. And there are 4 copies in the deck. And then our final is Zudomon, who has a 6 play cost, a 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 DP. When Digivolving, trash 2 Digivolution cards at the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. Again, going with that whole idea of getting rid of the inherited abilities of opposing Digimon. And there are 4 copies in here. Next, we have the Megas. Starting with Plesiomon, who again is just like Magnadramon. 10 Digivolution cost, or 10 play cost, 2 Digivolution cost, 12,000 DP, no ability, no inherent ability. There are 2 copies. And then we've got Metal Garurumon, the other shiny boy, for this one. 12 to play, 4 to Digivolve, 11,000 DP. When attacking, once per turn, unsuspend this Digimon. So that's a good ability where like you can tap it to attack, and then it will automatically untap for once, so you could attack a second time. So comboed with the ability where if the opponent doesn't have Digimon underneath theirs, that could essentially check 4 security cards if that other Digimon is suspended, I believe. And then we got the trainers. 2 play cost. This is Matt. And at the start of your turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. So again, working off that no memory, or no Digivolution cards. And the security effect is play this card without paying its memory cost, just like TK. And just like TK, there are 4 copies of this card in the deck. Now we go into the option cards, which this deck, it's got one of the best option cards, I think, that they made, which is Hammer Spark, which its main effect on your main phase, gain 1 memory. This costs 0, and as a security card, you gain 2 memory. So this can really throw a wrench into opponents' moves when they've used just all of their memory to get to 0, and then this flips over on the security stack, and their turn ends after this one goes away. Very useful. There are 4 copies in the deck. A staple in most blue decks, I'd say. Next up, Sorrow Blue. Choose one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. That Digimon can't attack or block until the end of your opponent's next turn. Security effect. Choose one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. That Digimon can't attack or block until the end of your next turn. So good for like stalling or stopping a Wargreymon from attacking. There are 4 copies in the deck. Kaiser Nail with a 4 cost. Main effect, choose a Digimon Digivolution card placed under one of your Digimon and play it as another Digimon without paying its memory cost. And its security effect is activate this card's main effect. So this could be very useful if like you pull out Barramon and use that one as a blocker. Like if your opponent's going to attack with multiple things, you could pull it out and then use it as a blocker, I believe. I'm not positive if it would have summoning sickness or not. But I'm sure there's other reasons why you would want to do this. And there are 2 copies in the deck. And final card, Coyote's Breath, which is a 7 cost. Return one of your opponent's Digimon to its owner's hand. Trash all Digivolution cards on that Digimon. So that could just be like, pay 7, get rid of that War Greymon, throw everything out underneath it. Very expensive, probably going to end your turn in most cases. And if it doesn't, that means that they played out a Mega right away, which I wouldn't use this for, just to get rid of a Mega. I'd want to trash a better Mega with things underneath it. And as a security effect, activate this card's main effect. And there are 2 copies. We get the same rules cards, just this time in blue. The player, dash again. And as before, one has some words on the bubble and the other one does not. So again, the player 2 one is the one that you'd want to punch out. Okay. So now let's get to Ty's deck. The red booster, Gaia Red. Using our safety to open. Always got it away from you. Stay safe. And we've got another Diaboromon pack. That seems like an omen of some sort. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know yet. But Diaboromon's one of my favorites, so I'm hoping it's a good. There we go. That band was tough on that one. So starting with the Digieggs. Koromon. While this Digimon has 4 more Digivolution cards on it, it gets plus 1000 DP. Which means you have to go straight from Egg to Mega to make that happen. Unless there are some cards which do allow you to put other ones underneath it, but mostly conventional times, you're going to need to go straight to Mega. Biomon, 2 play cost, 0 Digivolution, 3000 DP, no abilities. Oh, and there's 4 Koromons. There are also 4 Biomons. Trying to move a bit faster because this one's going a bit long. We've got Agumon. We've got the inheritability. On your turn, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. 3 play cost, 0 Digivolution, 2000 DP. And we've got 4 copies of him. A nice stance. I like that pose. Then we got 4 Dracomon. 3 play cost, 0 Digivolution, 4000 DP, no ability. Very stoic look up at the moon. Then we've got the champions. Starting with Birdramon. 4 to play, 2 to Digivolve, 5000 DP, no abilities, no anything else. Again, just a simple, cheap one to Digivolve up into something better. There are 4 copies in the deck. Then you have 4 Cordramons, which is a 5 to play, 2 to Digivolve, 6000 DP, and has the same blocker and lose 2 memory ability that Unimon and Bearmon had. So again, these decks, they have their flair to them, but they all have like some basic elements that stay the same to help with learning. And finally, we have Greymon as first champions, which is a 5 to play, 2 to Digivolve, 4000 DP, and the inherited ability of Security Attack +1. This Digimon checks 1 additional security card. And there are 2 copies. Which I think is sad because all of the main monsters of these guys, there's only 2 of it in these. Kind of disappointing. I wish there was 4. But again, I understand why they didn't. Next up for the Ultimates, we have Grudamon. 6 play cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 7000 DP. Its ability is, when Digivolving, one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP for the turn. No inherited ability. So you can play it on self, it becomes a 10,000. A good, quick one to just beat over things for the turn. And it has 4 copies in the deck. And then for the other, if you know Ty, you would have guessed it is Metal Greymon, who has 7 play cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 DP, and the inherited ability of when this Digimon is blocked, gain 3 memory. So that would stop an opponent from trying to block your attacks. Very cool. And there are 4 copies in the deck. And we're already up to the Megas. Starting with Phoenixmon, 10 to play, 2 to Digivolve, 12,000 EP, no ability, no inherent ability. And I do like this artwork. I like all the artwork where it seems like it's popping off the card because it ignores most of the border. Like, it still shows the numbers, but ignores everything else. And there are 2 copies in the deck. And then we have the big boy, War Greymon. He's got a 12 Digivolution, 12 play cost, 4 Digivolution, 12,000 DP. Your turn, for every 2 Digivolution cards this Digimon has, it gains security attack +1. This Digimon checks an additional security card. So going with the big power, big beat stick type way. And so you can see where like the Blue Coyotes would come in handy, where it's like you take away some of their Digivolution cards, so this one doesn't get to check as many. There are 2 copies in the deck. Now we're on to trainers. And just like every other deck, there's only 1 trainer, 4 copies. Tie. Main ability, all of your Digimon get plus 1,000 DP. Security, play this card without paying its memory cost, which its memory cost is 2. So, straightforward. Then we got the option cards. Starting with Shadow Wing. Main effect, one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP for the turn. Security, all of your Digimon gain security attack +1. This Digimon checks 1 additional security card until the end of your next turn with a play cost of 1. So both abilities are really good. I wouldn't be hurt seeing it in either coming up in my deck or in the security pile. And there are 4 copies in the deck. Next up, we have Starlight Explosion. With the 2 cost effect, all of your security Digimon get plus 7,000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. With the security effect of all your security Digimon get plus 7,000 DP for the turn. So kind of helping you if you get low on security cards. And there are 4 copies. Then we have Giga Destroyer, which is a 6 cost. Main effect, delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. With the security effect of activate this card's main effect. Not very good because 4,000 or less really leaves you to rookie ones. There are 2 copies. I could see making a red-yellow deck so that you could lower the attack and then use this. That could work. But this is already 6, which is very high memory cost. Finally, we've got Gaia Force, which is a cost of 8. Main effect, delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon with the security effect of activate this card's main effect. So right here, for 2 more memory, you go from just 4,000 to anything. Just delete any of them. And there are 2 copies in here. So very nice. And then, of course, the rules cards with the counter. And again, you'll want to use the player 2 token because that one doesn't have words on it. So that's a quick overview of all the decks and some of my thoughts on them. We've gone a bit long, but I think we can rip into the 2 Diaboromon packs we got real quick. So the Vital Race review is coming. I am not anywhere near done with it. I want to really dig into that to do a proper review of it. So starting out on the 1-pack, we got Impmon. Always love the purple boys. Digitamamon. Always love the evil-looking boys. Black Greymon. I'm not going to go over the abilities because we've already read this in my first review, or you could just pause it. Spiral Sword, which is a black option card. Metal Tyrannomon. Monodramon. Great Tornado. Bibodomon. A Saberleomon. A Growlmon. A Oopamon. And another Metal Tyrannomon. So yeah, in this deck, I don't think we got any yellow cards. So yeah, pulled in a red or blue deck, that would have already allowed you to customize it, replacing one or both of the blue babies, and putting in Metal Tyrannomon and that red option card for the Gaia Red deck. And the other one, we start out with a Monzamon. Another Spiral Sword. Green Agumon. Which they are coming out with a green and a purple deck later. Forbidden Temptation. It's already been released in Japan. It's just working. There's actually 3 more decks because there's a purple, a red, or purple, a green, and a black that came out in Japan. Kokuramon. Shisaramon. I am messing up those names. Anumamon. Being gross with poop. Although he's using tongs, so you guys care about hygiene a bit, I guess. A Metal Greymon. Whoop. Hit the camera. Cherrymon. A Gatsumon. A Shiny Patamon. Staying on it a bit so that you can read its ability. And a Togemon. So nothing crazy good in those packs. But like you could see if you pulled one of them for these decks, you'd be able to customize it a bit, which I love. There was... I don't remember what card game it was, but there was another card game that did this, and I support this because it immediately allows, like, even if a store has a tournament and you have to buy a deck from them, it immediately allows some customization, and I really appreciate that. But that's all. This went a little longer than I would have liked. Hopefully YouTube doesn't break this video up into 2 parts. I will see you next time for probably another unboxing and the Vital Bracelet review eventually. Subscribe, leave a like, comment down below for what else you'd like to see. Because I do listen to people. I did the purple deck review. I will do more if people want that. See ya.